Imagine a world untouched by concrete and commerce, a wild, untamed expanse where the only laws are those of nature. Now, imagine four city men, accustomed to the comforts of urban life, venturing into this primal realm for one last adventure. We're plunging into the heart of darkness with John Borman's chilling 1972 masterpiece, Deliverance. This isn't just a story about a canoe trip gone wrong, it's a brutal, unflinching examination of masculinity, survival, and the thin, fragile veneer of civilization. Get ready to witness a journey that will strip these men bare, revealing the primal instincts lurking beneath the surface. The river is calling, and it demands a price. Our ill-fated expedition begins with four Atlanta businessmen: Lewis Medlock, the rugged, self-proclaimed outdoorsman, played by the iconic Burt Reynolds; Ed Gentry, the hesitant everyman, brought to life by Jon Voight; Bobby Tripp, the jovial, somewhat naive one, played by Ned Beatty; and Drew Ballinger, the quiet, moral compass, with his ever-present banjo, played by Ronnie Cox. Their destination? The Kahoolawe River, a wild, untamed beauty in rural Georgia, soon to be swallowed by a dam. This is their last chance to experience its raw, untamed power, a final communion with the disappearing wilderness. The initial descent is filled with a sense of adventure and camaraderie. The stunning visuals of the river, the men laughing and enjoying the thrill of the rapids, paint a picture of idyllic escape. But even in this beauty, a subtle undercurrent of unease begins to flow. Their first encounter with the local residents is a chilling foreshadowing of what's to come. The memorable banjo duel between Drew and a local boy is a moment of unexpected, almost surreal beauty, a brief bridge between two vastly different worlds. Yet, the locals' suspicious, unwelcoming stares, their silent judgment, create an atmosphere of palpable tension. These are not friendly faces, they are the guardians of a forgotten world, and the city men are trespassers. The wilderness, it seems, has its own rules, and they are about to learn them the hard way. The veneer of civilization shatters with brutal force. While Ed and Bobby are separated from Lewis and Drew, they are ambushed by two menacing mountain men. What follows is one of cinema's most disturbing and unforgettable scenes. Bobby is brutally raped, and Ed is forced into a horrifying complicity. The raw, unflinching depiction of this violation is not just shocking, it's a visceral assault on the audience, a stark reminder of the true savagery that lies beneath the surface of humanity. The arrival of Lewis, the self-proclaimed alpha, is swift and decisive. He kills one of the attackers with an arrow, a moment of grim justice that instantly transforms the victims into perpetrators. With the immediate threat neutralized, the men are plunged into a moral abyss. What do they do with the body? Report it and risk being disbelieved, or worse, facing the wrath of the isolated community? Or bury it and carry the secret forever? Lewis, ever the pragmatist, argues for concealment, convinced that their story would never be believed. Drew, however, is deeply disturbed, his moral compass spinning wildly. His anguish is palpable, a silent condemnation of their actions, and a growing rift begins to form within the group. The wilderness, it seems, is not just a physical challenge, but a moral one, forcing them to confront the darkest aspects of their own nature. As they continue their desperate journey, the Kahoolawe River itself becomes an active antagonist. The rapids grow more treacherous, mirroring the escalating danger and the internal turmoil of the men. Then, another shocking twist: Drew is shot, or so they believe, and falls out of his canoe, disappearing into the churning waters. The assumption is immediate: the second mountain man is still out there, hunting them. With Drew gone, and Lewis incapacitated by a severely broken leg in the rapids, the burden of survival falls squarely on Ed, the least experienced, the most hesitant. The roles are dramatically reversed, and the city man, stripped of his urban comforts, must now embrace a primal instinct he never knew he possessed. The river, once a symbol of escape, has become a relentless, unforgiving pursuer. With Lewis injured and the threat of the second mountain man looming, Ed is forced to confront his deepest fears. He scales a sheer cliff face, a desperate, primal hunt for their unseen assailant. The confrontation is raw, brutal, and utterly terrifying. Ed, the man who couldn't even shoot a deer, finds himself locked in a life or death struggle, ultimately killing the second mountain man in a desperate act of self-preservation. It's a moment that irrevocably changes him, forcing him to cross a line he never imagined. The psychological toll of this act is immense, a haunting shadow that will follow him long after he leaves the wilderness. They retrieve Drew's body, severely disfigured, making it impossible to determine if he was shot or drowned. The ambiguity is deliberate, a final, unsettling twist. To avoid further questions and the inevitable scrutiny, they make the grim decision to sink his body in the river, further erasing their tracks and deepening their complicity in the dark events that transpired. The return to civilization is not a triumphant one. Exhausted, traumatized, and forever changed, the men concoct a story about Drew falling out of the canoe and drowning. The local sheriff is suspicious, his eyes lingering on them, but with no evidence to contradict their fabricated tale, he has no choice but to let them go. The unspoken horrors, however, are etched onto their souls. The film ends with a chilling, unforgettable image, Ed waking from a nightmare, the haunting sound of the river still echoing in his mind. The wilderness may be behind them, but it has left an indelible mark. They have survived, but at what cost? Deliverance is a cinematic landmark, a raw, unflinching masterpiece that continues to provoke and disturb audiences decades after its release. It's a powerful allegory about the fragility of civilization, the thin veneer of civility that separates us from our primal instincts, and the brutal consequences of venturing into the unknown. It forces us to ask uncomfortable questions about human nature, and what we are truly capable of when pushed to the brink. The film's enduring legacy lies in its ability to strip away the comforts of modern life, exposing the raw, untamed wilderness that exists both outside and within us. If this little dive, no pun intended, into the harrowing journey of Deliverance left you breathless, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel for more unique movie analyses, and share this video with your friends. Let us know in the comments what scene from Deliverance resonated with you the most. Until next time, remember, some journeys change you forever, and some rivers run deeper than you can imagine.